This is the first masterclass we are doing of 2025, of course, and we started this series in February last year. And I think this is the eighth one that we've run. So I would love to hear from you. I just want to gauge how familiar you are with us doing this. So please put in the chat how many you have attended up to now. If it's your first one, put one. If it's your third one, put three. I would love to see if we've got a lot of newbies or if you guys are quite familiar with this. So let's go. Yeah. First one. Ooh, so many first timers. All right, I'll do a bit of housekeeping beforehand. Hello, Letha. Great to see you with us. Second, hello, Renee. Oh, so good to see how many people are on here today. All right, so for all you first timers, as I said, my name is Stephanie, and I'm going to be running through this is the Weight Loss Code Masterclass. Every single month, we are focusing on different areas of the body and different areas of health. We want to not only provide you with solutions to your biggest health challenges through vitamin G nutraceuticals, but a core part of what we do is around education and empowerment. We want you to understand your body. We want you to understand where the problems could be coming in, as well as give you the solutions to help you truly, truly heal from a cellular level. Please excuse me if I have any tech issues along the way. I always say that the human body is far less complicated to me than a computer, and we know what technology is like. It's great, but it can also be a bit of a headache. Please put it in the chat. What is something that you are hoping to get out of today's masterclass? I want to make sure that I cover it. If it's not in the presentation, I want to make sure that it's covered for you. So drop in the chat what you want to get out of this or what you are looking forward to. All right, well, let's get into it. Again, I'm not able to see the chat when I'm presenting, so I will come back to 20 minutes of Q&A. This is taking a minute. Apologize for this, guys. If at any point, Wes, if it breaks up or things start to lag, please just unmute yourself. If I freeze, unmute yourself and let me know so I can pause and just make sure everything's working right. Okay. Give me a thumbs up, please. Can you see my screen? Kareen Gooding, I can see you on my screen. Give me a thumbs up if you can see what's happening here. Perfect. All right. Welcome to the Weight Loss Code Masterclass. Because there's a lot of newbies here, a little bit about me. Who am I? Why should you even be listening to me today? So I'm a certified holistic nutritionist and functional medicine health coach. I'm the co-founder and formulator of vitamin G nutraceuticals, and I also own another company called Unlimited You Holistic Health Coaching. What got me into this work is my own 15-year battle with obesity, metabolic syndrome, IBS, chronic fatigue, inflammation, and autoimmune conditions. You name it, and I've dealt with it at one stage. But luckily, through functional medicine, nutrition, and lifestyle change, I was able to heal my body, and I'm now on a mission to help other people do the same. At Vitamin G, we have already helped thousands of people all over the country regain their quality of life, and we cannot wait to hit more and more people every single month. On a more personal note, I have three very real addictions in my life. It is hot yoga, acupuncture, and tacos. I would eat tacos every single meal if I could. I'm an avid traveler. I love travel. I love adventure. And one of my favorite things in the world is a beach day with people that I love. Please jump into the chat. I'm going to pull it up now. I would love to hear from you. How long have you struggled with managing your weight, whether it's losing a lot of weight, not being able to gain weight, or whether you have excess weight that you really want to get rid of? How long has this struggle been for you? Months, years, since I've had my baby, since I had a specific diagnosis? If you feel comfortable to share, please pop it in the chat. Since I can remember, 23 years, yeah. A long time, 35 years, 5 years, yeah. I get it. I get it. I am somebody who has struggled with my weight my entire life. I remember first becoming aware of weight and weight issues or the societal aspects of weight when I was 5 years old, and I was by no means overweight at the time, but you know what kids are like. And I remember having or being conscious of my weight and my body image from that young. So it's been something that's a concern for me my entire life, and it really does take over a lot. It determines a lot of how you show up in the world and the choices you make. And we're going to get into that as well. So a lot of you guys have been struggling for a long time. Um, I'm going to kick this right off and say that weight gain, carrying around excess weight or having a struggle to gain weight, that is a big problem for a lot of people. When you are unable to manage your weight, it is a symptom. It is a symptom of a deeper imbalance. Being overweight or being underweight is not a condition. It is a symptom of a deeper imbalance. That is a fact here. That is the truth. And this is why a lot of weight loss programs, weight loss pills, those kinds of things do not work long term, because they are not fixing the core problem that has led to you struggling with your weight. If you want to get to the root cause, or if you want to actually have sustainable weight loss, create health within your body, you need to find out why. Why are you gaining weight, or why can you not gain weight? The myth involved here is that weight loss or weight gain is about calories in versus calories out. This is one of the biggest lies we have ever been told. And yes, calories in versus calories out plays a role, but it is not the sole factor that determines how much weight we carry around or our ability to either lose or gain weight. Calories in versus calories out have a very small role to play. And we need to look, especially if you're somebody who's struggled with managing your weight for such a long time, like a lot of you have shared, 5 years, 25 years, 30 years, since I can remember. It is likely got more to do with deeper imbalances that have developed over the years. And on this note of calories in versus calories out, guys, I want you to be very careful when you jump on Instagram or on Facebook or on TikTok, and just be careful of the kind of influencers that you are following that talk about creating health or healthy living and weight loss. You've got to be very careful what's out there. There's a very popular influencer in South Africa, and I'm not going to mention her name. I really like her. I really, really like her. She's fantastic. But a lot of the things that she advocates for are not going to help you lose weight, because it is all focused around calories. So she would advocate for having a Kit Kat as opposed to a granola bar that's full of nuts, because it's lower in calories. And that's going to help you manage your weight, but not taking into account the nutrition that is in nuts, the actual nutrients compared to the lack of nutrition and the harmful ingredients in, let's say, a Kit Kat or a chocolate bar. Doesn't matter if it's less calories. If there's harmful ingredients in there, what you're going to learn today is that that's going to do more to affect your metabolic health and your weight management than what a higher calorie bar of nuts would do. So please be careful when you are following influencers online. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and it's my hope that today you are going to get to understand your body at a deeper level and be able to approach your weight journey from a much healthier place. All right, so factors that affect weight, whether again, weight gain or losing weight. Factors that are affecting your weight management. 100% food, like there's no doubt about this, your food quality. And it is the quality over your food, or it is the quality of your food over the quantity of your food. Forget about calories, forget about how much you are eating. What is the quality of your food? Again, it goes back to like the granola bar with nuts or the candy bar. Which one do you think is better quality? Is it a Twinkie or is it a banana? Like there's pretty much the same calories in those two foods, but do you think you're going to be healthier by eating a banana or healthier by eating a Twinkie? So the food quality matters. What I want you to note here, I was very intentional about using this little graphic image, this ball on the right-hand side, because what I want you to understand when I run through these points is that absolutely everything in the body is connected. So these are the most common things that are affecting your weight. It's not just one. If one is out of balance, it's going to affect everything else. And if you work on one, you're going to improve everything else. So your food quality will affect your gut health, will affect your liver, will affect your metabolic health. If you have an unhealthy gut, it's going to affect your inflammation. It's going to affect your stress. It's going to affect the conditions that you are dealing with. So you can't isolate these things. They work in unison. It is a very, it's a network of systems. And this is why our current model of health does not work. It's why we are living in a world of more sickness than we do of health, because unfortunately the current model is very individualized. They categorize things. You have specialists for everything, for your heart and your gastroenterologist, for your gut and your liver specialist and all these different specialists, but the body doesn't work like that. You can't compartmentalize it. When you work on one thing, it affects something else. So it's something I want you just to grasp when looking at this. But the factors that are affecting your weight, of course, is your food quality over quantity. I'm going to dive deeper a little bit into every single one of these slides. You guys might want to take a picture of this slide. Sorry, I'm going to dive deeper into every single one of these points. I do not have slides on every single point, because every point I've made here, we have masterclasses on that. There is so much to cover around gut health and inflammation that we can't cover it all in the next 60 minutes. So I'm going to give you an overview of this, but know that there are going to be deeper masterclasses on how you can attack every single one of these areas. Your weight, like what is the connection there? And your gut is responsible on your food, but second of all, it is responsible for absorbing your food. So we've got to make sure we have a healthy gut so that we can utilize the nutrients in our food. What a lot of people don't realize is that your gut and gut health is your understanding, which I'm so grateful about. But your gut affects your hormone, affects your liver. Your gut affects your metabolism aspect that is listed here. Your sleep quality is affected by your gut health. Inflammation is affected by your gut health. Your gut is responsible for producing a lot of vitamins and minerals and hormones. It produces our happy hormone, our calming hormone. It produces a variety of different things that influence our metabolic health. So if your gut is unhealthy and it's creating inflammation, no matter what you are eating or how you are exercising, that weight is not going to shift if your gut is unhealthy. Next, your liver and detox pathway function. We are coming into contact with thousands of chemicals every single day, or toxins. Every single thing that we eat, we breathe, to be filtered through your liver and your detox pathways. Now you get two kinds of toxins. You get your fat soluble and your water soluble. Most of the toxins we find in our beauty products, our cleaning products, all this kind of stuff, even the pesticides on our food, are fat soluble toxins. So what is happening is when the liver is so overburdened by toxins and it cannot process them anymore, it stores them inside. It stores these fat soluble toxins inside your fat cells. The more toxins in a fat cell, the more the fat cell expands. The more your fat cells expand, the more we expand. So even if you are eating healthy and you are exercising, if your detox pathways are not working and you have a buildup of toxins in your body, that weight is not going to go anywhere, because it may not be excess fat. It may be stored and hidden toxins. We'll dive deeper a little bit into this later. Your metabolic health is going to affect your weight. Now, when I used to hear the term, before I got into health and wellness, when I heard the word metabolism, the only thing that I associated with metabolism is weight. In my mind, if you had a fast metabolism, you were skinny. If you had a slow metabolism, you were overweight and you always struggled with your weight. That was the only connection I had to that. Your metabolic health, or your metabolism, to put it as simply as possible, what that means is your body's ability to turn food into efficient. Is your body at doing that? Will determine whether you have healthy metabolism. It's actually got very little to do with the speed of it. It's just the efficiency. Where's, just unmute yourself. It looks like it's lagging a bit on my end, or is it just my camera? Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you. No problem.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So your metabolic health, plays a big role in whether you can metabolically unhealthy. This will lead to something called insulin resistance. And gut health, food quality, inflammation is what happens before you sign. If you are struggling to lose weight, if you are on the road to pre-diabetes and it really fast, which is great, to lose weight regardless of what you are. And exercise is going to improve your insulin resistance, which is so cause you to struggle with your weight in an indirect way. And what I mean by that is if your gut is not absorbing specific nutrients, your mitochondria needs specific nutrients to function, are not going to function optimally. And next is inflammation in your body. And this is to know initially, if you don't know the level of inflammation you have within your body. But inflammation is when we have systemic inflammation, like the toxins, is not actually excess fat or excess energy. Clearly see when somebody is inflamed. And the way I like to describe it is if you ever feel like you've got this puffy layer over you and you're like, my body is in here somewhere, but there's a suit on or like water retention almost, that is inflammation. And again, no matter what you're eating or how you're exercising, if we don't turn the inflammation off or get rid of the inflammation, you're always going to have that puffy layer. I remember when I weight loss journey a few years ago, inflammation that I started to reduce the inflammation, weight fell off. It literally just started falling off every single week without me having to go on any extreme crazy diets. When I struggled majority of my life with weight, I tried everything, dieting, yo-yo dieting, exercising, weight loss pills, very unhealthy choices. I made very, very unhealthy choices when what the problem was, what the imbalances were in my body, which for me personally came down to gut health. When I understood that was to how can I create a health when the weight started to fall off. After struggling for, like I said, 15 years, I was able to give me 3 years is because I was trial and error along the way. It was a long time ago. But after struggling for 15 years, within 3 years, life looked completely of weight gain. Your sleep quality, incredibly important in weight. If you are not getting good quality sleep, guys, you might be sleeping for 7 or 8 hours, but are you waiting sleep? If you are not getting good sleep quality, it's going to be very difficult for you to lose weight. And I've seen this. I used to work on yachts and I would be very healthy when I'm at home, eating right, exercising, managing my weight. Because you get very, very little sleep, I was made up in the morning again, not sleeping very well. After 7 days, we're like covered in cellulite, which is fat stored under the skin. Your body cannot properly detoxify good quality sleep. So you're going to wake up tired. You are going to wake up, you're going to have cravings. You're going to make very unhealthy food choices, not focusing on good quality food. So it's a domino effect. Things change very fast in the body for good or for better. So don't underestimate to manage your weight. Next, and this is a huge one, stress on the body. We refer to this as your allostatic load. What is the total allostatic load on your body? In the chat, just real quick, is this making sense to you guys so far? Just say yes, no, not really. I know these things. Clear. Thank you, Mark. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And I'm going to go deeper into this. I just need to give you an overview here of what is contributing to weight issues because it's not just food. Okay. When we talk about stress and our allostatic load, what is the total load of stress your body is under? And stress is an interesting thing because we have good stress and we have bad stress. Your good stress, something called hormesis, is something that makes you more resilient. It makes you stronger. It is really good to put our body under stress so it becomes more resilient. Good stresses are things like intermittent fasting. It's great for you. Things like cold plunges, great for you because it creates this hormesis, this positive stress that actually makes you healthier. It makes your body stronger. Then you have your bad stress, which is chronic stress when we are constantly in a state of fight or flight, whether it's conscious or subconsciously, when your body always feels like it's being threatened, like it's under attack, like it's in survival mode, your fight or flight mode. Now, when we talk about stress, there's 3 kinds of stresses, and most people only look at the first kind, which is your mental and emotional. But let me put it this way. If you are in a state of stress, of fight or flight, think back in the day, If we were being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, fight or flight, you got to run. All your energy, everything has to be used to escape. It's survival. So if you are in a state of fight or flight, chronic stress, and you eat a meal, your body's not going to use any energy to digest a meal because it thinks there's basically this saber-toothed tiger chasing you. It's in a state of fight or flight. It's not going to properly digest. You're not going to properly digest food, and anything that you are eating is going to be stored. It's not going to be used then and there because the body's like, I'm in survival mode here. There is this constant threat. I need to be ready. I need to store my energy so that I'm ready to use it when I need it to survive. So if you are stressed, it is going to be, or chronically stressed, it is going to be nearly impossible for you to lose weight. When we look at your healthy stress versus your unhealthy stress, if your allostatic load is already high because of work, of family, of all these different things, if you are in a state of fight or flight and your allostatic load is high, and you decide, I want to start intermittent fasting because it's all the rage, everybody's doing it. Or I'm going to start doing cold plunges because it's all the rage, everybody's doing it. And I really want to be healthy. So I'm going to start doing cold plunges. Your allostatic load is so high that when you add more stress to it, even though it's supposed to be a good stress, you add more stress to your body, that stress bucket is going to overflow. And when it overflows, it leads to really bad consequences, autoimmune conditions, chronic fatigue syndrome, all these kinds of things. So why I'm saying this is because you need to take your stress into account. You will not lose weight if you are stressed. And doing things like cold plunges and extreme fasts just to lose weight, if you are in a state of stress, is going to have the opposite effect on your hormones. It's going to have the opposite effect on your weight. One of my private clients I worked with was doing 16-hour fasts, and she was on a 1,400 calorie, 1,400 calorie a day diet because she wanted to lose weight. It was not going anywhere. She was 25 kilograms overweight. When I started working with her, we got her onto 3 balanced meals a day, increased her calories up to 1,800, and reduced her fasting window to 13 hours. And she was able to lose 10 kilograms. So more is not always better. You've got to be careful and really address your stress. Again, going back to what I was saying earlier, there's 3 kinds. You have your mental and emotional. This is what a lot of people think of as stress. It is work, it is family, it is finances, all these external things that cause us mental and emotional stress. But there's 2 other stresses that people don't always take into account. That is your chemical stress. Things like pesticides on your food. These toxic like Glade air fresheners that you have all over the house that automatically goes off like every 15 minutes. You're breathing that in. That's a chemical that's putting stress on your body. Then you have your physical stresses, which are things like eating foods your body is allergic to or intolerant to or sensitive to. It is any infections in your body, whether that be viral, bacterial, a parasite, mold. These are physical stresses in your body. So you might be sitting here back thinking, I'm not stressed. Like I am financially stable. I've got a good family life. I love my job. I live in a beautiful place. I'm not stressed. But you may be eating gluten every single day that your body hates, and you're bloated and uncomfortable because your body is creating a stress response in your body is having a stress response to that gluten if it's something you're intolerant to. So when you are looking at your allostatic load, you need to take into account all the stresses that your body is encountering every single day. We don't have different stress responses for different things. Like I'm going to have one stress response for a fight that I had with my partner, and I'm going to have another stress response for that piece of gluten I ate, even though I'm allergic. The body stress response is the body stress response. It's high cortisol, it's high insulin, it's adrenals going crazy, it's shutting down digestion, it's affecting blood flow, everything. The stress response is exactly the same. Your conditions, if you have any specific conditions, that can most definitely affect your ability to lose weight. Things like Hashimoto's, thyroid condition, things like lupus can be a struggle to manage your weight, again, because lupus is tied to inflammation, and inflammation is the real key there. So we do have to look at, if you have these conditions, it's not impossible to lose weight, but it will affect things. And then lastly on the list is calories in versus calories out. Plays a role, but it plays a very small role. And to put this into perspective for you guys, in order to gain 1 kilogram of weight, you need to eat 6,000 calories more than what you normally would. 6,000 calories is what you need to gain 1 kilogram. And it's not 6,000 in one sitting or in one day. It's 6,000 over and above what you normally eat. So if you are going on calories in versus calories out, and you are near starving yourself and you can't figure out why your weight's not going anywhere, it's probably not the calories that's the problem. It's one of these other things. You may realize at the end of the year, oh my goodness, I've picked up 5 kilograms this year. How did this happen? Because it happens so slowly. If you are eating 200 extra calories here, 200 extra calories there, over time, it can build up to you gaining, 5 kilograms or 4 kilograms in a year. But it's not going to happen overnight, most definitely. And the same thing with losing weight. If you want to lose 10 kilograms, it's unrealistic to say I'm going to do that in a month, because you would have to literally starve yourself to do that. And you're going to cause so many problems with regards to stress. Just because you're starving yourself doesn't guarantee that you're going to lose a hell of a lot of weight, because your body is in the state of fight or flight. Okay, that covers our factors that are affecting weight loss or weight gain, weight issues. I missed one here. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but your body type can tell you a lot about what is the root cause of your weight gain. So if you are gaining weight, or you carry your weight, let me put it that way, where you carry your weight will give you a clue as to what's happening. If you are carrying weight all over your body, it is a sign of stress and higher cortisol, as well as inflammation. I didn't put that on there, but weight all over is stress and cortisol and inflammation. If you carry your weight mainly in your hips and your bum and your lower body, that is likely due to a thyroid that is not functioning very well. If you carry your weight in your abdomen, so you might have smaller upper body, smaller legs, but you've got like that tire tube around your stomach. And if you push on your stomach, it is soft. That is your liver and detoxification system. If your liver is struggling and cannot properly filter everything, process everything, if it cannot help in metabolizing your fat, you may have fatty liver, where your liver is so filled with fat that it can't store anymore. Your liver goes and dumps all that excess fat into your abdomen. Like I said, your fat cells get bigger and bigger. This will lead to a lot of visceral fat, this fat around your organs, and it's very soft. If you have a lot of weight around your abdomen and around your chest, your boobs, and it's hard, if your stomach is hard, that is a sign of estrogen dominance. Your body has too high levels of estrogen, and your liver and your gut are not able to eliminate it, because it's probably your gut and your liver is unhealthy. So depending on where you carry your weight can give you clues as to what is potentially at the root cause of this. Let's jump into nutrition. How are we looking for time? Okay, I've got 20 minutes left. Nutrition. You need to eat more to lose more. So I'm assuming because you are on this masterclass that you would like to lose weight or maybe gain some weight. You want to better manage your weight. And if you follow the principles I'm going to show you, I guarantee you, you will have results. And this is not about quick fixes, guys. This is about making sure that we fix the root cause, or not fix. I really don't like the word fix when we talk about the body. If we rebalance, sort out the root cause issue, weight loss, better weight management is going to happen naturally. And this isn't going to happen overnight. I know we all want instant gratification. We want results immediately. That's why flippin' GLP-1 and Ozempic, all these therapies are so popular because we want instant results. But living in a way that is focused just on weight loss and quick weight loss is going to leave you very unhealthy. It's going to affect your longevity. It's going to put you at risk for developing conditions, diseases, which none of us want. So we think, I don't care what the result is. I just want to be skinny now. Not thinking of the consequences later down the line. So what I'm going to share with you now around nutrition is not only going to help you better have a healthy weight, create a healthy weight, but it's going to help you create a healthy body. It is going to help you increase your vitality, which is how we feel now. And it's going to help you increase your longevity, which is how we're going to feel later when we get older. And these things you can start to implement one by one, but food first, guys. I don't care what other supplements you're taking. I don't care what medications you want to use for weight loss. It's not going to work. Food first. This is why we have to start with nutrition. Eat more to lose more. You need to eat more of the right things. I know I've followed weight loss gurus, influencers, Ready Enough You magazines and People magazines and all these things since I was a teenager to know that 1,200 calories, 1,200 calories, up to 1,400 calories seems like the sweet spot that is often promoted for weight loss. You need to be on a 1,200 calorie diet. Did you know that that is what's recommended for an 8-year-old child? So no woman should be on a 1,200 calorie diet. And for men, they often advocate for an 1,800 calorie diet. That is the average diet a woman in her 30s should be on, not a man. Okay. So looking at nutrition or tips for nutritional tips for healthy weight loss. Take a screenshot of this and start to implement them. I guarantee you if you do this, you are going to see results within the next 30 days. You want to eat the Fab Four at every single meal. And I'm not telling you to cut anything out, or I'm not telling you to cut a lot out here. We're starting off with just adding in Fab Four at every meal or most meals of the day. The Fab Four is a protein source. You need to have protein at every meal. The next one is a healthy fat. I should have put healthy fats in there. Things like olive oil, avocado, nuts, seeds. A healthy fat at every meal. You want to have fiber, which is your fruits and your vegetables. And then you want to have leafy greens. Spinach, basil, arugula, or rocket, cilantro. Your iceberg lettuce doesn't really count, like your dark leafy greens, kale, even romaine lettuce is fine, but you want to have leafy greens at every meal. Within reason, obviously, if I'm going to have a porridge, I'm not putting leafy greens in my porridge, but smoothies, eggs, whatever, you can easily achieve this. You want to start your day with at least 30 grams of protein. If you're not too sure what 30 grams, I don't expect you guys to weigh your food, but on average, 30 grams of protein is around about the size of your palm. If you are not sure, you can quickly do a quick little Google search. Like if I'm having 2 chicken breasts for dinner, jump onto Google, how much protein is in 2 chicken breasts? You're going to get a very good idea very fast on how much protein is in your food. But you want to start your day with 30 grams of protein. This is going to help balance your blood sugars. It is going to keep you full. It is going to prevent you from having energy crashes and sugar cravings in the day. And it's going to nourish your hormones. Overall, you want to consume about 100 grams of protein daily. This doesn't necessarily, it doesn't matter how much you are working out. You can personalize your protein intake based off of your current weight and your ideal weight. I'll run through all this kind of thing when we do our masterclass on full nutrition. But for the sake of weight loss, man or woman, you want to be hitting a minimum of 100 grams. Of course, men tend to need a lot more calories than women. But even a man, if he is hitting 100 grams a day, he will see a result, an impact in his weight. If you feel like that might be too low for a man, you can increase it to 120. But for ladies, or for most people, a minimum of 100 grams. That's basically 30 to 40 grams per meal. You don't want to eat any naked carbs. What I mean by that is just your carbohydrates on its own. This is going to spike your blood sugar. It's going to result in insulin resistance. It's going to result in a high cortisol, your stress hormone. It's going to result in high insulin, and both your cortisol and your insulin are storage hormones. They signal your body to store food, not use it, not burn it up. So you don't want to eat any naked carbs. If you are having carbs, you want to pair it with a protein or a fat. For example, don't go have a fresh bread roll from Pick and Pay or Spar. If you're going to eat the bread roll, make sure it is loaded with like biltong or something so you get a lot of protein in that meal. I used to snack on like corn tortilla chips, and I thought they were healthy because there was no seed oils and it was made from like coconut and flaxseed and it was grain free. It wasn't even an actual corn chip. And I'm like, this is so good. This is so healthy. It's cooked in avocado oil. I'm doing really good. And then I wore a glucose monitor and saw that that tiny handful of healthy chips that I was eating every day was shooting my blood sugar up within 8 minutes of eating it, was shooting my blood sugar up into pre-diabetic levels. The following day, I had the same chips, but instead of eating them alone, I ate it with guacamole, with avo, a healthy fat. All of a sudden, blood sugar stable. If you have a slice of toast for breakfast, don't just have the toast. Put an egg on top. Put some almond butter on top. Something like that. No naked carbs. Guys, if you want to lose weight, you got to stop snacking and rather focus on 2 to 3 balanced meals a day. I know that a lot of people have advocated for 5 to 6 small meals a day because that is going to speed up your metabolism. This is not true. That is not how the body works. If you don't eat for 3 hours, the body's not going to go into starvation mode and slow your metabolism down. If you have a balanced meal, with a balanced meal means that the Fab Four are in it. If you have a balanced meal, your body should not need food for at least another 4 hours. If you are getting hungry within 4 hours, you did not have enough protein or enough fats on your plate. So learn from this. When we snack often, it also interferes with our gut health. As you know, gut health is a huge player in weight loss, weight management. So if you are snacking in between your meals, your gut does not get a break to clean itself out. We have this thing called the migrating motor complex that cleans all the gunk out of our gut. And if we are constantly eating, that migrating motor complex doesn't work. We have a buildup of bacteria. We have a buildup of undigested food in our gut. This ferments, it sets off gases, it makes us bloated, it leads to further gut issues, leaky gut. It's a nightmare. So stick with 3 balanced meals a day. If 3 meals a day is too much food for you, have 2 meals a day with one small meal, which you could classify as a snack. But you want to be leaving, you shouldn't be eating like at least 4 hours between meals. And then lastly, you want to cut out or limit your processed foods. These are the main aspects that are going to help you with weight loss. If that's all that you did and you focused on nailing one, like getting one down before you move on to the next one, maybe all you're doing this week is what does 30 grams of protein at breakfast look like? And you're starting to do that for a week or two. Then you start to look at your lunch, then your dinner. Just build on this. It doesn't have to happen all at once, but I guarantee if you implement these things that I'm sharing here, this time 3 months from now, you're going to look and feel completely different. On top of that, what you can also do to bring in to support weight loss is increase your variety of colorful whole foods. You want to get as much color as possible in your diet. And Wes, can you please drop a link for me in the chat to the bonuses that we have for everybody? Getting a lot of whole foods and a variety can be challenging for some. So for you guys that are on here live today, we have a whole food tracker so you can start to see and get a good idea of how many whole foods you're currently eating. We've also attached like the minimum goal you want to be getting every week is 30. You can work your way up to that. I've also created for you a 1-day meal plan to show you how easy it can be to get a variety of whole foods in. You don't have to eat like that every single day, but it's there as an example of how easy it can be to get a lot of whole foods in. It's not a difficult thing. I've also given you a list of different color foods in different color categories because sometimes we're like, oh my goodness, I've got to eat more orange food, but we can't think of any orange food besides oranges. So I'm helping you guys to get some variety here. Please click that link, open it up on your computer or save it so you can come back to it. Those resources aren't up all the time. So I encourage you guys to download them and then please print them out and actually use them because they're not going to help you lose weight if they sit in your inbox or sit in your computer. You want to eat with the sun, guys. So I am very guilty of this, that at night, it's something that I've really had to work on. After dinner, I'm not necessarily hungry, but now I feel like a little snack, whether it's a handful of biltong and it's like 8 o'clock at night. It's a handful of biltong or some berries or maybe a piece of chocolate. And I'm not even hungry, but I want a snack for some reason. It's not good. It's completely not my body. It's mental. So it's something that I've had to work on. So I encourage you guys to eat with the sun, meaning have your first meal at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, whenever you want to have breakfast. But when the sun goes down, have your last meal. Try not to eat at the absolute latest after 7:30 at night. And then you want to minimize and eliminate gluten and dairy for some people. Everybody, I can guarantee you, everybody will see a shift in their weight if they had to eliminate gluten. It's just such an inflammatory food. Whereas if you are somebody who has a high level of inflammation or you're currently dealing with autoimmune conditions or you've tried everything, you eat healthy, you exercise, and you're still not losing any weight, I definitely recommend that you give yourself 30 days without gluten and dairy because that could be the key to why you're not losing weight. You could be sensitive to it without realizing it. It could be driving that inflammation, that puffiness. And until you stop and you cut it out, that's not going to go anywhere. So I'm not saying everybody has to do it, but it's something to keep in mind. I know when I was off gluten for a very long time, and I looked good, I felt good, and then I brought it back into my diet. Not every day, but I did bring it back in, and I immediately saw an increase in my weight. Like within a couple months of having gluten back in. I saw a shift in my weight. That's my story. It's not for everybody, but something to consider. And then lastly, guys, the 80-20 rule. And this is where processed foods come in as well. You are currently sitting here. You are a result of what you do 80% of the time. So we can live in as much denial as what we want, because we are very good at denying the things that we're actually doing. Like, we don't want to see it. We don't want that to be the problem. We don't want to admit these things to ourselves. But the way you sit now, your health, your finances, your relationships, your weight, everything is a result of your choices 80% of the time. It's a hard truth that we have to face. That 20% is where your processed foods can come in. If 80% of the time you're eating junk food, or you're sitting, you're not moving, and I'll talk about junk food again, not just in regards to the calories, but the junk food, what it's doing to your body, your gut, the inflammation levels. 80% of the time, if you're getting really bad sleep, you're going to struggle. If you have one bad night of sleep a week, that's the 20%. You're okay. If you're going to have, I don't know, a piece of pizza on the weekend, fine. What are you doing the rest of the week? You don't have to give up. You don't have to go on a diet. You don't have to give up the things that you love. Just please try and keep it to 20%. Guaranteed you, hands down, I'm willing to bet money on this. You will see a difference in your weight. Follow these rules. Okay, time-wise, let me hurry this up. Sorry, I always go a little bit over time. So let's look at movement and weight loss. What is the best kinds of movement for weight loss? Absolutely, number one is walking. Why has this been neglected for so long? Everybody's like yoga and HIIT and resistance training and rebounding and all this stuff. Like, what happened to good old walking? It is one of the best things that you can do to lose weight, especially if you do a little bit of a walk after a meal. Literally 10 to 15 minutes of walking is going to prevent that insulin spike. It's going to prevent that blood sugar spike. It's going to prevent the cortisol spike when your blood sugar goes up. So 10 to 15 minutes of walking after meals will trigger your body to make sure that it's using the energy from that meal and it's not storing it as fat in your body. So really, really, really good. Helps digestion, everything. If you can't walk after meals, you want to aim for about 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. If you have a watch or something, then you can track your steps and you see that you are only currently getting about 2,000. If you aim for 7,000 next week, you may be setting yourself up for failure. If you want to, I'm not like discouraging you. Of course, set your goals, set them big and go after them. But be realistic with yourself. If you're not hitting 7K, don't say, oh, well, I tried, I can't do it. If you're getting 2,000 steps a day, maybe next week say, I'm going to aim for 3,000. When you're comfortable at that, I'm going to aim for 4,000. And it's a lot easier to get your steps in than what you think when you find creative ways to do it. Park a little bit further. Don't try to find the closest parking to the grocery store entrance. Park a little bit further. Get some extra steps in. I purposely don't bring everything. I've got a lot of stairs in my house. I purposely don't bring everything down that I need in the day, because when I need it, it's going to encourage me to get up, go get it, get some steps in and come back. Resistance training is incredible for weight loss. If you are at a point where you are willing and ready and open to doing that. It's not your first point, it's not the first place you start, but it is definitely something that's going to support your weight loss goals. So resistance training, it can be with body weight, calisthenics, or it might be at the gym if that's what you like. You can buy resistance bands on Takealot for 149 Rand, and there are millions of free workout videos on YouTube that you can do. And all it takes is 3 times a week for 30 minutes. You can work out in less time than what it takes you to cook and clean up for dinner. 3 times a week. If you are not used to resistance training, start with 1 day a week. Start with 15 minutes instead of 30 minutes. I'm just sharing with you what the ideal is. It doesn't mean you have to do this. If you can't do 3 sessions of 30 minutes a week, doesn't mean don't do any resistance training at all. Can you do 1 session of 15 minutes? That's it. I say this all the time to my clients. We do not aim for perfection. It doesn't exist, and you're always going to be disappointed. Aim for progress. Can I do a little bit better this week than I did last week? Can I progress? It's not about being perfect. Maybe one week your eating is terrible, but at least you got your resistance training in, or vice versa. And then lastly, HIIT training is really, really effective for weight loss specifically. That's your high intensity interval training. And 30 minutes of HIIT even once a week. A 15-minute HIIT session is equivalent to a 45-minute run. Now, I don't know about you, I'm not a big runner, but I would much rather do 15 minutes of HIIT than a 45-minute run. It is an incredible exercise 1 to 3 times a week. However, like I say, they're for some. If your allostatic load is high, if your stress is already very high, HIIT training is not right for you. It is going to push your stress too much. Maybe you're somebody here who already does HIIT training and you're not getting results, you're not losing the weight because you are in a state of stress. So if you are stressed, remove HIIT training and rather opt for walking or do no more than 1 session a week. Now, the benefits of this is it speeds up your metabolism. When you move your body, it speeds up your metabolism. Even just walking, it speeds up your body's ability to turn fat or to turn food into energy and use that energy. It obviously helps you build muscle, and the more muscle we have, the higher our metabolism, the higher our calories are that we eat or that we burn every single day. You also burn more calories at rest. So for example, if you did absolutely no exercise, just sitting here from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, just you're moving and breathing and thinking, if that is 1,500 calories a day, if you have more muscle on your body, that goes up to maybe 1,800, 2,000, 2,200 calories. And it doesn't take a lot of effort to actually get that metabolism up. The thing with walking, which was fascinating, they did a large study, and what they found is that walking actually helps you burn more calories in other exercise. So people who were only walking 4,000 steps a day, by the way, if you get anything less than 4,000 steps, or 4,500 steps is classified as a sedentary lifestyle. So they took a group of people who had 4,000 steps a day, so were sedentary. Then they had another group of people who were walking 6,500, and then they had another group of people who were walking 8,000. And they got them to each do a 60-minute exercise session. They all did exactly the same exercises. They were varied ages and all the rest. But they all did exactly the same exercise and they were put on the same diet for a couple weeks as well. And what they found is the people that were in the 6,500 and 8,000 steps a day group burnt 1.5 times the amount of calories during that workout compared to the people who were sedentary. So what that means is if somebody who doesn't exercise a lot, if I'm sitting here and I don't exercise a lot or I don't walk a lot and I go do an exercise class and I burn 300 calories, Wesley doing the same exercise class because he's walking every day will burn 450 calories. I don't know if I said that right, but I hope you guys get the point. And then lastly, walking, something as simple as walking helps you to de-stress, which plays a role in your weight. It helps with gut healing, which plays a role in your weight. Walking is detoxifying. It helps to move lymph through your body. And it helps to improve your sleep, to boost your sleep quality. All factors that play a role in weight. So exercise and movement is so much more than burning calories. I'm actually going to skip that slide for time reasons, but other factors that play into your weight loss, as I was sharing earlier, your sleep. You want to be aiming for 7 to 9 hours. Things that can help you improve your sleep is supplementation with something like NAC or magnesium, really beneficial to improve the quality of your sleep. I would caution people around melatonin. I know it's very popular to help with sleep, but not everybody is able to properly metabolize. They genetically will metabolize melatonin very slow, and this can cause you to wake up feeling very groggy in the morning. Even though you feel like you got a good night's sleep, it can make you feel quite drowsy and groggy and take a while for your brain and your body to actually wake up, like just not setting you up for a very good day. So please be cautious of melatonin. And then I encourage you guys to have a nighttime routine, whatever that looks like. It might be 15 minutes of a hot shower, a cup of tea, getting into bed, reading, whatever. It might be 15 minutes, it might be an hour, but you want to create a nighttime routine for yourself. We'll do a masterclass on sleep, and I'll dive deeper into that. Stress, again, guys, your body will store onto every single thing it can if you are in a state of stress. So how are you going to reduce your stress? How are you going to better manage your stress? You can do things like walking. You can have a gratitude practice. How you are going to de-stress or manage your stress is going to look different for everyone. A lot of people, journaling is great. It's a really effective tool for mindset and stress. For me personally, don't put a journal in my hand. Like, I'm never going to journal. I don't like it. I'm never going to do it. So find what works for you. I love walking. I love yoga. All those things help me with de-stressing, but don't put a journal in my hand. So find what works for you. Gratitude practice. Filling your cup, guys. If our day is just filled with items on our to-do list, where is the time? Where is the space to fill your cup? And I understand, like, life is busy. I don't expect you to take an hour of me time every single day. But in the bigger scheme of things, whether it's every week or every month, is there something that you are doing to fill your cup? Maybe it's a sport that you enjoy, a hobby that you have. Maybe it is the 10 or 15-minute walk after meals. That's a bit of alone time, like in the sun, whatever that is. Just how can you start to fill your cup? What do you need to do to fill your cup? That has to come into it. Values alignment is huge. If you are in a state of fight or flight, if you are struggling with chronic stress, ask yourself. This was a big game changer for me a few years ago when I really put this all together through coaching that I'd done with somebody else. When you are not living, you need to identify what are the things in life that you value. And when you are not living in alignment with your values, you are going to feel stressed. You are going to feel unhappy. You are going to feel depressed because the things you value most in this world are not featuring in your life. So have a think about it. What are the things that you value and how regularly are they featuring in your life? It might be things like family or love or health. It might be things like financial freedom or wisdom. There's so many different things that we can value. What is that for you and how is that featuring in your life? Of course, meditation can play a big role in helping you de-stress. We'll actually do another session on meditation because it's a big topic, and a lot of people shy away from it, that I can't meditate because I can't not think of anything. I can't quiet my mind. And that's not really what meditation is. So every single person can do it, whether it's for 2 minutes or 20 minutes, and it's incredibly, incredibly beneficial for every single aspect of health. So we'll definitely jump into a meditation session with you guys at some point. And then lastly, if you are stuck in a state of stress, the reason, and this is a very important point that I want you guys to get, because for me, when I struggled with my weight, and I'm not talking many years ago, I'm talking more recently, eating everything, like eating-wise, nutrition-wise, everything is fine. Gut-wise, everything is fine. Exercise-wise, everything was fine. And I was also doing all these things, and I couldn't understand why, no matter what I was doing, I wasn't able to drop the couple kilograms that I had picked up a couple years ago. And I was exercising a bit more and training, like doing all the things. And for me, the biggest factor was that state of chronic stress. Not necessarily realizing I was stressed every day, not feeling stressed every day, but subconsciously, my body being stuck in that state of fight or flight. And that is, I see this with so many of my clients. So I really want to hone in on this point for you guys, because it might be the missing key for you. There might be the missing piece for you. So please look at your stress. Are you stuck in a state of fight or flight? And one of the ways that you can identify this is ask yourself, where are you not feeling safe? Because your body ignites a stress response. Your body will get into a state of stress in response to not feeling safe, feeling threatened. So where are you not feeling safe? Is it work? Is it in your relationships? Is it in past trauma? Like, what is that? Whatever that is for you. Where do you not feel safe? And don't shy away from those things. When you admit it, when you understand, when you know what that is for you, don't shy away from it, because avoidance doesn't make it go away. If you're avoiding a person, if you're avoiding a conversation, if you're avoiding a difficult topic, if you are avoiding specific thoughts that make you feel stressed and anxious, it doesn't go away. Face them, understand them, have those hard conversations, understand why you are not feeling safe, and do what you need to, whether it's reframing or finding solutions, putting an action plan together. Figure out what that needs to be for you, because if you are in a state of stress, you are not going to get the results that you want, health-wise, weight-wise, mindset-wise, sleep-wise, anything. If you are in a state of avoidance and you are not addressing the areas in your life where you don't feel safe. And lastly, other factors that help with weight loss is, of course, fasting when it's safe to do so, and for some people. So intermittent fasting is amazing, not just for weight loss, for balancing your hormones, for cleaning out your gut. It's great for longevity. It's incredible. Intermittent fasting is just this magic tool, and it's ancient wisdom. People have done it for centuries, for thousands of years, not even centuries. As I said earlier, if you are stressed, fasting is not a good idea for you, because you're going to have a wrong result, the opposite result. Men also have a lot more opportunity to fast than women. They're very lucky, unfortunately. They've only got like, couple hormones in a 24-hour period. Women have all these chaotic hormones, like 28 days cycle through the month. It's madness. So women have to be a bit more careful with fasting. Like, you don't want to fast through your menstrual cycle, whereas men can fast anytime as long as you are not stressed. When you look at the hours that you are fasting, start off with at least 12 hours, which means like from 8 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock in the morning, you don't eat. You're sleeping for 8 of those hours, so it's not difficult. Technically, this is not even fasting. This is just how we were supposed to eat. So it's not really fasting. But a lot of people still don't even go 12 hours without food. You start to get into the benefits of fasting when you hit 14 hours. Fasting for at least 14 hours. That's a pretty safe fast. 13, 14 hours is pretty safe for most people. Even if you are feeling stressed, even if you do have a little bit of stress in your life, you can still be fine with about 13 to 14-hour fasts. Anything more than that could put strain on your body. And then 16 hours is fantastic. That's where you really, really get into deep benefits. So again, men can do 16-hour fasts. They can do 20-hour fasts. They could do 24-hour fasts and experience benefits and not bad side effects. Whereas ladies just have to be a little bit more careful because of our hormones, especially if you are in your baby making years, if you want to start a family or grow a family, if you're trying to get pregnant or you're thinking about it in the future, you don't want to be exceeding about 14-hour fasts or not doing it regularly. You may be able to fast 16 hours one day a week, but you don't want to overdo it and go through like 20, 24-hour fasts, those kinds of things. Everybody is unique. Everybody is different. So if you do want to do fasting, maybe just work with somebody who can identify your situation and give you the best fasting routine to actually help you hit your goals. All right, special mention. I don't know if we've got time for this. I'm actually going to skip this slide for now. I'm going to do a session on detoxification, but real fast here, I just want to point out, guys, how important it is to focus on detoxing your environment. Most people aren't aware about the amount of toxins that are coming into their body. I was one of those people many years ago. And when you understand, when you know what's actually happening and you become aware, like you feel like everything around you is out to kill you because it actually really is. But I'm not trying to make anybody scared, but it's important to detoxify your home, get rid of shitty cleaning products and beauty products and all that kind of stuff. There are very affordable ways to live clean. And you need to prioritize that because toxins are keeping you sick, they are keeping you overweight, they are keeping you depressed, they are keeping you infertile. They're just doing so much harm to our bodies. And it's really important to one by one, you don't have to throw everything out your house and spend thousands and thousands and thousands of rands or dollars on new stuff, just one thing at a time. So I'll do another masterclass on this because it's such a heavy topic. It's such an important topic. What you need to know about weight loss drugs. Is everybody with me so far? Let's see. Any comments in the chat? Is this helping? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a yes if this is supportive for you. Are you learning something? And if you're not, if this is not for you, let me know. Then I'll shift what I'm teaching you guys. Fantastic. Yes, 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 yes. What you need to know about weight loss drugs, so important because everyone and their mother, brother, sister, uncle, everybody is jumping on this whole Ozempic, Wegovy, semaglutide. What's the other ones? There's a whole bunch out here. And I was actually so shocked a few weeks ago. I was on Facebook and I somehow ended up, I don't know if it was on a group like People of Centurion or some group, and they were talking about wanting to get Ozempic. And there was recommendations to join, I think it's a group called like Ozempic South Africa or something like that. And I went into this group just to see what people were talking about. And there's like, I don't know, some tunny, I'm not joking, sitting in Benoni selling semaglutide injections from her garage. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And women are just jumping onto this every single, there was thousands, there was hundreds of posts on there about I can get you this, and this, like Ozempic and Wegovy and all the rest at this price. And then another one was like, no, but I can get it for you at this price. And these are like people that have no qualifications, nothing to do with health, and they are selling prescription medications. You don't know what is in that stuff. There is a massive shortage of this in South Africa right now. There is a shortage of this globally. So if some Tanny is sitting in her garage in Benoni and she has stockpiled Ozempic, I can guarantee you now it's not Ozempic. And people are injecting themselves with this stuff. You need to be careful, guys, please. So first of all, quality is a huge problem. Everybody wants this stuff right now. And I get it because instant gratification. We want to lose the weight and we want to lose it now because we think that when we lose the weight, we are all of a sudden going to have confidence and all of a sudden we're going to love ourselves and love our body and all the rest. It doesn't actually work that way, but I'll tell you that later. So what you are getting, where you are getting it from is incredibly, incredibly important. I'm not encouraging the use of this, but I know a lot of people are using it or are thinking about using it. And these are the things you need to know before you make that decision. So the problem with using these, what they're called GLP-1 therapies. GLP-1 is naturally produced in your gut microbiome. And what these therapies do, what these injections do, is it's putting synthetic GLP-1 into your body, which is controlling your appetite. But we make it naturally. So here's an idea. Let's naturally increase the production of it, and then we don't need to put chemicals in our body. Like just a thought here, and I'm going to share with you how we do that. But the problem with using GLP-1 therapies is that it does not fix the root cause, and it therefore further conditions will arise. So if the root cause of your weight gain is a gut imbalance, like leaky gut or SIBO, if the root cause of your weight gain is chronic inflammation, which we know is the start of all autoimmune conditions, like you have to have high levels of inflammation before you even develop an autoimmune condition. Now you start taking this medication, you lose the weight, but the inflammation doesn't go anywhere. Your gut gets sicker and sicker, and all of a sudden, a few months or years down the line, now you've got lupus. Now you've got rheumatoid arthritis. You're skinny, but now you've got to go into other chronic medication because the root cause wasn't treated and it has led to other conditions. One of the big reasons why you are losing weight on these medications is because it eats away at your muscle. It destroys your muscle. Your body will use muscle as fuel before it will use fat. When you see a lot of people lose weight very fast, they are losing muscle mass. The less muscle mass you have, the faster you are going to age. Have you guys ever heard, put in the chat, just say me if you've heard the term, I think they literally call it Ozempic face. Have you ever heard that term? Do you know anybody that has been on Ozempic? You see their face, like it just changes. It's crazy because they are losing actual muscle. When you lose that much weight that fast, and even without weight loss drugs, if you see, or like without Ozempic, if you see people lose a hell of a lot of weight really fast, their entire face changes. It's crazy. It's not healthy. Okay? And as I said, it ages you. You're losing muscle, it's aging you. We know for a fact whether there's doctors out there that advocate for these drugs or that are against it, the fact remains that everybody agrees on and everybody knows because it's a fact. Ozempic destroys muscle. We know this. A lot of people just don't care. What is your heart, my friends? What is it? Is it a fat cell? It's a muscle. Your heart is a muscle. So when you take these weight loss drugs, you are weakening your heart. So great, you're going to be really skinny in 6 months, but you're going to have cardiovascular disease for the rest of your life. So be careful, please be careful. It affects mobility issues because you've lost a lot of weight. And the worst part is the moment that you stop these medications, the weight will return because you didn't fix the root cause. So these are the problems with this medication. I am not saying there isn't a time and a place for it, okay? There are certain situations where I would encourage the use of this under supervision. Temporarily, not for 6 months or 6 years. It all depends on the situation. It's not for people who are just tired of being a little bit overweight and want to walk around on the beach in a bikini. Like it's not about that. Please, please, please be careful. Now, if you are somebody who is using it or has used it or is thinking about using it or knows somebody who is using it, can you please share this information because at least it's going to support you while you do take it. Doesn't mean there's not going to have any side effects, but this will at least try to offset some of the damage that is happening. If you are on this medication, you need to eat a minimum of 120 grams of protein a day. You need to resistance train heavy weights, not a 1 kilogram dumbbell in the ladies section at the gym. That's not going to do anything for you. You need to resistance train with heavy weights 4 days a week. You need to incorporate fermented foods into your diet. The one thing I miss there is that the problem is that it causes gastroparesis. It paralyzes your gut, which is going to lead to constipation. It means you can't break down food. It means you can't absorb your nutrients. It's going to lead to malnourishment. So if you are on this medication, you need to eat fermented foods and you need a proper gut health supplement. You're going to need to be doing juices and smoothies because you're not very hungry. You're going to become nutrient deficient and your gut's maybe not going to be working so well. So you need nutrients to flood the body that the gut doesn't have to work to access. It doesn't have to break down anything because it's in juice form. Okay. Making sense? You're feeling a little bit more aware of what this weight loss medication is about. So let's look at natural GLP-1 therapies. Ways to increase your GLP-1 naturally. A healthy gut will produce GLP-1 naturally. Exercise will produce more GLP-1. The more you exercise, the more your gut bacteria will produce GLP-1. And fasting produces GLP-1. So very safe, very effective, natural ways to do this. And there may or may not be a natural alternative coming out for you guys through vitamin G this year. But I will not confirm nor deny that statement. I will just say to keep a lookout in your emails to see what we have in store for you guys in 2025. But there are always natural and healthy ways to get things done without destroying your body, and in return, actually improving your health, improving your lifespan, and improving your longevity. So your 60-day roadmap. I know we've gone over time here, guys, so take a screenshot of this. I just want to say that this isn't a three-step process. There are multiple things, as you can see, that come into having a healthy weight and a healthy body. If you give yourself the next 60 days, so by the end of March, like by the time Easter rolls around and you actually want to eat that Easter egg, you can look and feel completely different. Take the steps I'm going to give you and one by one start to implement them. If you've got questions about any of these, I'm happy to answer. But I haven't just put things on here for the sake of putting things on here. Every single aspect on here is going to play into your gut, your liver, your metabolic health, nutrient deficiencies, everything that are affecting weight. So I'm not just picking and choosing random things. This is stuff that works. Start with one, then try another, then try another. Maybe start with the easiest thing for you to do because you want to build that self-confidence, that self-efficacy. Yes, I did it. I said I was going to do it and I did it. Now I can do the next thing. Now I can do the next thing. So your 60-day roadmap. There's some small things and there's some big things on here. But take a screenshot. You want to start your day with clean water and a bit of Celtic sea salt. Tiny little bits. It's going to remineralize the body. It's going to help support digestion. It's going to kickstart everything into gear. You want to get morning sunlight. This is for your cortisol. This is to balance hormones. This is going to wake up your entire body. 10 minutes of morning sunlight is going to do more for your energy levels and your mental focus and your metabolism than what a cup of coffee is going to do, believe it or not. So morning sunlight, you may want to pair that with a morning walk if you can. Be realistic and make this work for you guys. If you are waking up in the morning and there's a bit of a rush and you're trying to get dressed and get the kids dressed and get them to school and get you to work, and you're thinking to yourself, there's absolutely no way I can get a morning walk in. That's fine. Don't do the morning walk. Can you get 5 minutes of sunshine? If not, pick something else. Maybe you can't do a morning walk, but can you go for a 10-minute walk in your lunch hour at work around the complex? Like, what can you do? So many people, we stuck in excuses for ourselves, in limitations. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. It's easy for you to do, but I can't do it because of this, and this. What can you do? Focus on that. Take this list. What can you do? The things you feel you can't do. Be honest with yourself. Can you actually not do that? Or can you find a way to incorporate it? Can you be creative and find a way to incorporate this into your life? So morning sunlight, morning walk. Instead of just having plain coffee in the morning or having coffee with milk and sugar or these creamers that are filled with oil and sweeteners and all this nonsense, try having a cup of coffee, putting some collagen or some reishi mushroom in there. Again, you don't have to add these things in, but it is beneficial to help keep your cortisol down. Coffee is spiking your cortisol in the morning. So if you're adding a bit of collagen or some reishi mushroom, or even just waiting 60 minutes after waking before you have your coffee, that is going to keep your cortisol levels low and improve your weight management. You want to fast for 12 to 14 hours, 30 grams of protein at breakfast or more. You then want to make sure you're having the Fab 4 at lunch and the Fab 4 at dinner. That's your protein, your healthy fats, your fiber, and your leafy greens. We spoke about this earlier. No food after 7:30 p.m. Some of you guys might be finishing dinner at 6 or at 6:30 or at 7, a little bit earlier. That's great, but no food after 7:30 p.m. You would then want to do an evening walk if that is possible for you. After dinner, go for an evening walk. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if it is safe for you to do so. If you live in an area where you can't walk, don't walk. If you live in a complex or in an area it's safe for you to walk, go for a walk at night. Because not only is this part of your movement, but you will be blown away at the quality of your sleep if you get 10, 15 minutes of walking at night. There's not a lot of light. You're not getting that light pollution. You're getting fresh air. You're getting movement. I promise you, you'll have the best sleep of your bloody life if you do some walking at night. You want to do low lighting in the evening. When the sun goes down, make sure you are keeping your lights very low. Use yellow bulbs instead of white bulbs. So I'm not saying go and change all the lights in your house. Like, you don't have to do anything extreme. You can go online or you can go to Builder's Warehouse and you can spend 40 Rand and get new light bulbs in areas of the house that maybe you have very bright lights. We don't need fluorescent lighting. I know a lot of kitchens have fluorescent lighting. You don't need such bright light because it is going to affect your sleep. I guarantee you, like every time after the nights that I do a masterclass like this, my sleep is terrible because I've got light around me the whole time. But just keep your lighting lower at night. There is something called the Twilight app that you can download onto your phone that will sync with your location and it will automatically put a red blocking light as the sun goes down. So like 5:30 or 6 o'clock, as it starts to, the time will start to shift, you will have a blocker on your phone which will block the blue light and the light pollution, and that's going to improve your sleep, which in turn will improve your weight and your health. You want to supplement with magnesium or something like Stress Shield before bed. You want to limit your processed food, so no more than 2 processed items a week. That might be a piece of bread is actually a processed food. Like you don't have a bread tree outside. So limit your processed foods to no more than 2 items a week. You want to track your whole foods and aim for 30. We've given you guys in the chat, we've given you the link that's going to help you track your whole foods. You want to incorporate fermented foods. This is for your gut. You want to start feeding your gut microbiome so it can become healthy. Your fermented foods are things like sauerkraut or kimchi or kombucha. And if you have 1 spoon of sauerkraut a week, good for you. I'm glad, like well done for trying. Or if you have 1 little glass of kombucha a week, you're putting a little bit of probiotics in, and I commend you for trying, but it's not going to do anything. Like, it's not going to have a lasting effect. You have to be consistent with these things. So I'm talking daily probiotics, like daily fermented foods, daily kombucha, regularly. Maybe one day it's kombucha, one day it's probiotics. Like just get, or sauerkraut, sorry, just get your fermented foods in. You want to support your gut with something like Gut Shield or your favorite, your preferred gut support supplements, but something that is not just a probiotic. You need something that's going to actually support the healing of your gut lining, the healing of your gut microbiome. So probiotics and prebiotics are great, but you need something that's got collagen and L-glutamine and all those kinds of things so that we can really create a healthy gut ecosystem and heal any damage that's happened to your gut lining that's creating inflammation. So supporting your gut with something like Gut Shield or whatever you like to use. And you want to feed your detox pathways. Why did I say feed? It shouldn't be feed. It should be nourish your detox pathways. So looking after your detox pathways. We come into contact with over 1,000 chemicals every single day. A lot of people think they don't have to worry about detoxification if they don't drink alcohol. Alcohol is one toxin. If you're not having that, that's great, but there's thousands of other toxins around us. And you need to be looking after your detox pathways. 46% of the population, myself included, have a genetic issue where we don't detox properly. So we need extra support for our detox pathways. 46% of the population. So using something like Detox Shield can be really supportive for you, or something like NAC or chlorophyll, really helpful. Dandelion root tincture or something, really good for detoxification. You guys can jump onto YouTube and pick a resistance training that you like. Pick the same workout or different workouts, but jump onto YouTube or go to the gym. Maybe you are already doing resistance training. That's fantastic. For those of you who aren't, I encourage you to get curious with this. A lot of people are very intimidated by resistance training because they think of being in the gym with a whole bunch of men around lifting heavy weights. And this is for men and women. They feel intimidated if you are not used to going to a gym. You feel like you don't know what you're doing. People are going to look at me funny. I can promise you now, nobody in the gym is worried about anybody else except for themselves. Okay. So if you don't feel comfortable at a gym, do it at home. Get just your body weight. Get onto Amazon or Take-A-Lot, 150 Rand or $14, and you'll get resistance bands, whatever that is. But find a video on YouTube that you like and start resistance training even 1 day a week if you can. And then start to implement your preferred stress release, whether that's meditation or yoga or journaling or walking, whatever that is. But how can you start to release your stress, your buildup? And that is your roadmap. So I hope you took a screenshot of this one as well, or take a picture of this so that you can slowly start to implement. I did send you guys, I created a checklist for you that you was sent to you when you signed up for this event. There was a beautiful checklist in there. Print it out, stick it on your fridge, start to implement it. Those resources we give you are not just, we don't just give it to you for the sake of giving you something. They are actually going to help you if you let it help you. So print them out. They're going to do nothing for you on your computer. Print it out, read through them. I always keep these resources super short because people have very short attention span at the moment, myself included. So I keep it short. It's like a 5-minute read, whatever I give you, if that. Print it out, stick it on your fridge, start to implement, go, take action. So from the vitamin G range, what we have that can really support you, I mean, we've got multiple products, but our recommended bundle for you guys, if weight loss is something, weight management is something that is one of your goals in 2025, I would encourage you to take a look at the gratitude bundle. This is a combination of the inflammation shield to really help combat that systemic inflammation, your gut shield, which is going to support healing of the gut, as well as your detox shield, which is going to help you to remove excess toxins, as well as improve the cellular health of your liver. So those would be the three. We do sell it as a bundle, the gratitude bundle. You can buy them individually. Maybe you don't want to get onto all three. Maybe you just want to try one or two. You can get them individually. But when you do buy it as a bundle, you save, I think, 500 or 550 Rand. So it's a pretty good deal for you guys. And then just add-ons as well, weight loss support add-ons if you wanted to, depending on your situation. You don't have to get all of these, guys. I'm just sharing with you what will help you depending on what it is that you currently need. If you are somebody like me who does deal with a lot of stress and anxiety, then Stress Shield would be a really good option for you. As well as something like the Balance Oil, the Omega, which is great for systemic inflammation as well. So those are things that you could add on if you wanted to. And then just out of interest's sake, my personal vitamin G routine at the moment, I've put there currently because you should never be on the same supplements all the time. You should change your supplements according to what it is that you are working on. So I've at one point or another been on all of our blends for extended periods. But right now, the things that I need and what's supporting me in my health goals, in the morning, I drink my gut shield. That's how I break my fast. In the afternoon, I do the detox shield, and then I've actually got some now. I didn't finish it yet. And then in the evening, right before bed, I take my stress shield and I sleep like a baby. My watch even shows me, like, if I don't take stress shield, my sleep score is maybe 75. When I take stress shield, my sleep score is anywhere between like 85 and 95. So it really makes a big difference. And then I also use the Zinzino Balance Oil. I take it every day, but I wrote there I take it when I remember because it's in the fridge and it might be at breakfast or at dinner or whenever I remember in the day to take it, I take it. So that's my current routine. And then just a couple testimonials for you guys here. If you are not familiar with any of these products, you can see for yourself. I don't know why this picture is not showing up. But we've got hundreds of testimonials on every single product page, and they are all from verified people, customers who have bought. So you can see what customers are saying here. We have a 5-star rating on our gut shield, less bloating, feeling overall lighter. I love Anisa's review. I'm an evaluator by trade, and I never give anything 5 stars because it never reaches its final state of excellence. However, Gut Shield is the ultimate 5-star product. Such a cool review. Um, Here's our detox shield. I'm not going to run through all of these with you guys. I just want to show you here that people are jumping onto this. They're trusting the product. They're jumping onto this and they are feeling incredible. They are looking incredible and really getting results. You can see Sinette, huge improvements. Since using Detox Shield, there's 100% improvement. Kabetswe, I feel more happy and I just feel awesome. It's the best decision that I've made in my life is to buy this product. Like these things are incredible. You just got to get the ones that are really supportive for what you are dealing with. And then, of course, there's some testimonials here on Stress Shield as well. So feel free to read those. I'm not going to run through all of it, but it is on our website. And then for all of you guys on the masterclass tonight, we are giving you a 15% discount should you wish to jump in and get started on any of the blends that we have. I will drop a link for you in the chat. I don't know if Wesley did that already. I know you had to jump off. But if you want to jump in and get your hands on the product and give it a try, please use the code LIGHT15 and you will get a 15% discount. That is valid until the end of the week, until Sunday. So please take advantage of that. You can use it on any blend that you would like to try within the store. And that again, only for Masterclass attendees. And then secondly, second offer that we have for you guys this evening, as I mentioned earlier, I have another business that I run, a coaching business where I work with people privately to help you get to the root cause and develop customized healing plans that you can follow going forward. Within health, within that, I'm losing my words here. Within that business, within my coaching, I run a wellness membership called the Health Mastery Academy. And we would love to extend an offer to you guys to come jump in and spend the next 30 days, the next month working with me personally. What we are focusing on in February is rev up your metabolism. So I'm going to be sharing with you meal plans, different routines, a whole bunch of tips and tricks that we are going to implement as a group to help rev up your metabolism in February. So for anybody who would like to jump in for the next 30 days, the offer that we have for you is that you can bring a friend for free as well, because the more support and accountability you have, the more fun it is, and the more likely you are to stick to your goals and be successful. So when you jump in to Health Mastery for Feb, you will get a simple to follow meal plan as well as a shopping list and a preparation guide. I make this super easy for you because remember, the body doesn't heal when it's in a state of stress. So if there's any aspect of your health and healing journey that's stressful, get rid of it. It is not serving you. Your health and healing journey will be challenging. We grow through challenges. It's challenging because it's different, but it should not be stressful. So everything I give you, we make it super simple. I do live group coaching with you through the month of Feb, where I can support you directly, guide you through your challenges, and answer any questions that you have. It's direct hot seat coaching. So you get access to me immediately, as well as access to our members area, our members community for added support and accountability. You'll also have access to me daily via WhatsApp for any support, guidance, or questions that you have. And as a bonus, we'll be running the 30-minute muscles challenge in February. So if you are somebody who is not familiar with weights or resistance training or anything like that, doesn't like it, you just really don't quite know where to start, but you know it's important, I'm going to guide you through all of that in February. It's optional to join the challenge, but it is a bonus that we are adding in as well. So if you are interested to join me inside the Health Mastery Academy, I see there's a lot of our members on the masterclass tonight. If you are interested to join, please in the chat put HMA in the chat and I will contact you. Alternatively, you can email us with any information. I'm putting it in the chat now. info@vitaming.net. If you are interested to jump into health mastery, or if you have questions around the product, I will reach out to you guys. You know what? I'm actually going to ask, I see Karina and Christine, can you just pop your email? Then I can reach out to you much easier. It's going to be much faster. If you can pop your email in the chat, please, I'd appreciate that. All right. And that is our masterclass for this evening. Here is to a healthier, happier you in 2025. And we are so grateful that we get to be on this journey with you. If you aren't doing so already, here is our contact details, guys. Follow us on Instagram. Take a screenshot of this. There's our email address again. And the website is, you do have the link to the website in the chat. Remember to use code LIGHT15. I will send it out to you on an email as well. And if you want to follow me to learn a little bit more about my personal journey and what I do every day to look after my health and brighten your day with some random dog videos, you're welcome to follow me on Instagram as well, which is @UnlimitedYouCoaching. All right, that is me for the night with regards to my presentation that always goes over time. Sorry, guys. I try to be respectful for your time. There's always just so much to share. So any questions? Any questions, please unmute yourself and share. Otherwise, I'm going to go through the chat and see if there's anything. Ingrid. Isel. Well, I see that initial questions was how to lose weight permanently. It's what you guys wanted to learn, and that is what I've covered today. So let me just go back up the chat here. See if there's anything I've missed. Is there really absolutely no questions that you guys have? It can't be. I shared so much. There's got to be some questions that you have. You're welcome. You're welcome, Renee. When you talk protein, is it net protein? So, Gerda, just clarify for me, what do you mean net protein, please? If you want to unmute yourself. So when I'm talking about protein, you can customize your protein based on your weight, if that's what you would like to do. But when you are figuring out your protein intake for your meals, let's say it is eggs, you're having 2 eggs for breakfast. There's 6 grams of protein an egg. So 2 eggs for breakfast is only going to give you 12 grams of protein. But if you had to add maybe a little like chicken sausage or some ground beef, some mince, or some cottage cheese, or a smoothie with some protein powder in it, that's going to help you hit your 30 grams of protein. Gerda, I don't know if that answers your question. What are the other questions in here? Oh, Rashay, thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you, everybody, for the kind words coming through. For those of you who have reached out, who have put your information for Health Mastery, we will be in touch with you. I'll send out an email to you tomorrow, and you will get a replay for this. Yes, Gerda. So not the weight of the chicken or the egg, but the net protein, 100%. Yes. So you're not weighing the actual chicken breast, but how much protein is in one chicken breast or one drumstick or one egg. So yes, you're checking out your net protein. What are so to Tans, I don't know if I pronounced that right. Your question is, what are the effects of coffee on gut health and inflammation? Okay, so this is a good question. And I want to just say here quickly that I discourage anybody from thinking about foods as good foods or bad foods. And Coffee is one of those things where there's so much information online, like contradicting information. It's good for you, it's bad for you, and it causes a lot of confusion, like a lot of aspects of nutrition. So there's no, it's not that food is good for you or bad for you. Or it's not that food is a good food or a bad food, but is it good for you right now, or is it bad for you right now? So coffee has a ton of antioxidants in it. It has minerals in it. Coffee is a healthy food. But like anything, 8 cups of coffee a day is not going to be very good. And if you have high levels of cortisol, if you have high stress and you are drinking a lot of coffee, that's going to have a negative effect. It's going to increase your cortisol and it's going to cause chaos in your body. So the effect specifically of coffee on gut health, coffee is filled with antioxidants and polyphenols. These are things that feed your gut bacteria, and they are also things that help to, if I could say, strengthen your body. I don't want to get into this. It's got health benefits. It's gonna take me too long to run into everything with regards to phytonutrients, your polyphenols that are in coffee. But basically, they encourage longevity. So coffee has great benefits for metabolism, for longevity, for cellular health. It's got minerals, it's got phytonutrients, all these kinds of things in there. Coffee becomes bad for your gut if you have something like candida, because candida feeds off of caffeine. So it's not just coffee, it would be an energy drink or green tea even that's got caffeine in it. So does that answer your question around the effects of coffee on gut health? I hope so. Yeah, okay, perfect. And then with regards to inflammation, coffee is not inflammatory. Coffee can be anti-inflammatory, but cortisol, the stress hormone, is inflammatory. So if you are stressed, you're drinking coffee, it's heightening your cortisol, that's going to cause inflammation. So I don't want to confuse anybody, because sometimes when you go down a rabbit hole, it can feel a bit confusing and overwhelming if this is not the world that you are in. Like if you're not a nutritionist or a functional doctor or something, it can feel very overwhelming, but it's really not. Like if you have a bit of guidance and you focus on what it is what are the goals you have, and what are the symptoms or conditions or imbalances you have, and we just start treating the root cause, it becomes really simple. Not always easy, because it's simple to say, give up gluten. It's a simple thing. Doesn't necessarily mean it's easy to do. Is it okay to have coffee between meals, or does it count as a snack, especially if you put milk or sugar in there? Oh, yes, that was the other note I wanted to make on coffee. Rashay, thank you for that reminder. I'm going to answer your question now. But coffee is not the bad thing. Coffee is not the thing doing the damage. It's the milk and the creamer and the sugar and the candle and the artificial sweeteners. That's doing an absolute number on your gut and your inflammation. So don't blame the coffee for what the sugar and the milk is doing. So Rashay, to answer your question, let me just admit here. Rashay, to answer your question, that coffee would count as a snack. Not that it's very high calorie, but if there is sugar in there and if there is milk in there, that is going to affect this migrating motor complex that I'm talking about. So it 1000% will count as a snack when we're talking about cleaning out the guts, reducing inflammation, all that kind of thing. What about MCT powder in your coffee instead of dairy? Gerda, MCT powder in your coffee is fantastic. Yes. It is nourishing for your hormones. It's not going to, how do I say this? It's going to prevent or limit that cortisol spike, because it's a healthy fat. So your body recognizes that as food, right? So it's not like you're having coffee on an empty stomach. You actually have fat in your coffee. I remember bulletproof coffee is a thing a lot of people did, where they're putting butter and coconut oil and all this kind of stuff in the coffee. It's food, it's fuel. Fat is fuel for the body. It's putting petrol in the car. Fat is fuel. That's going to give us energy. So you might think it's a teaspoon of oil. I'm still going to be hungry because I didn't have a plate of eggs or a bowl of oatmeal. But that teaspoon is enough fuel to actually keep your hunger away. At one stage, I did MCT oil in my coffee, and it was actually incredible how I was doing specific Bulletproof, the brand Bulletproof. They've got a what they call brain octane, which is a very specific form of MCT oil, and it was phenomenal. I put it in my coffee in the morning. First of all, like my brain, I was super focused. Um, I didn't want to eat until 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'd have my coffee at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I didn't want to eat until 1 or 2 o'clock. So I'm not encouraging that. I'm just saying it was amazing. Like fat fuels your body. Okay. What other questions am I missing here? Any questions around the vitamin G blends that I can answer for you? Any questions around health mastery? Very good presentation. Thank you so much. I feel like I'm missing something here. In my case, I've got a lot to process. Okay, that looks like it. Normally Wesley's on here and he sends me the questions, so I get through them really fast, but he had to jump off. He had another meeting. So thank you for your patience as I work through all these questions. I want to end off by saying that I know a lot of people have jumped off already, and I'm going to let you go now. But I want to end off by just saying that weight loss, if your main focus is weight loss, if your main goal is weight loss, you are going to make some very unhealthy choices in the process. I remember trying every single diet pill under the sun at one stage. I would be really healthy and restrictive, or what I thought was healthy. In the week, I would have like low-fat yogurt and whole wheat bread and rye crackers, all these things that I thought were healthy, smoothies with like berries and banana, like high fruit smoothies. Meanwhile, it was destroying my gut, creating inflammation and giving me the opposite effect, keeping me fat and keeping me sick. And when my focus was how can I lose weight, I was on all these different diet pills at various times. I was yo-yo dieting. I was binging on weekends. I was destroying my body without realizing it. I was things like, I don't know if you guys remember, it's like Thins, and I think it was called Sure Slim or Simply Slim, or what was the other one? The Secret. Like I tried all that stuff back in the day. And yes, I did lose a little bit, but it came right back. And then I had liver issues, and then I had gut issues and all this kind of stuff. So my point is, when you are focused on, when your goal is weight loss, it can lead you to making some very unhealthy decisions. When your goal becomes, or when your mindset shifts from how can I lose weight to how can I create a healthy body, it leads you to make very good decisions. And then weight loss happens from that. When you are creating health, because that's what it is, you create health. We have to create health. We unfortunately don't just have it anymore because of the environment that we live in, the world we live in, and the choices we live to make. But when you focus on how can I create health, and you start making choices that create health, like eating your fermented foods, like starting your day with protein, like supporting your detox pathways, all these kinds of things, then weight loss is going to happen naturally without feeling like you're restricted and deprived. And if you are in a place where you've tried everything and you don't know what to do, stop trying to figure it out on your own. Stop going through that hamster wheel. Reach out to somebody who can help you. Reach out to a specialist, somebody who knows what they're talking about, or reach out to a family member or a friend, somebody who's done what you are trying to do. Reach out to the healthiest person that you know, not the skinniest person you know, the healthiest person you know, somebody who lives a life of health and wellness. Reach out to somebody, get some guidance. Otherwise, you're going to keep going in that hamster wheel, not getting the results, and you're going to feel very, very frustrated. Reach out to me if you would like to. I'm happy to help you guys. This is what I do every single day. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that. And also remember that with weight loss, with weight in general, body image, man or woman, I can guarantee you now because I've lived this. If you do not love yourself when you are overweight, you are not going to love yourself when you've lost the weight. I can guarantee you that. I always thought when I lose weight, I'm going to be happy and then I'm going to love my body and then I'm going to appreciate my body. But when I was in the best shape of my life, I still looked in the mirror and I'm like, why are my legs so big? Why is my tummy not flat? Why are my boobs saggy? All this kind of stuff. Now I look back at photos of myself like 4 years ago and I'm like, holy moly, I looked amazing. But when I was in it, I still did not. I love myself so much more now than what I did 4 years ago when I was in the best shape of my life because I've accepted myself. So work on that. You can love this yourself where you are right now while you work to improve and be better. But don't think that when the weight loss comes, all of a sudden you're going to love and value yourself. It doesn't work that way. So that's the last thing I wanted to say. All right, everybody, I'm going to let you go. I'm sorry it was such a long presentation. Let me stop this recording. We will send out